Hey Chris, how you doing? How's everyone else doing? Third proverb here, Brother John. Responding to your last video, Chris, why would God burn anyone? That was a response to my video as well. Hold on a second, please. Okay. Chris, you actually contradicted yourself, not once but a couple of times in your response to me, and hoping I could kind of show you where, and you could take it from there. Okay. The question when I asked you was if you had 3 children and you knew 2 of them or whatever was going to go to hell, would you still have them? Well, first, you say from a human perspective, you would say no. No. But then you go on to say that you would still have them. Almost within the same minute, you said that if you knew one was going to go to be with God, that he would be blessed and you would have the children. Okay? Now, if you remember my question, it was if you had full knowledge, like God does, of knowing all of eternity. See, that's another thing. You said that things don't happen, they didn't exist, or the choices weren't made until they actually happen. But let's try, and it's very hard for any of us to do, but to try to think in an infinite, eternal sense. Okay? God does know. He's got to know. He either does know or he doesn't. And if he doesn't know, then he's not all powerful. And he's kind of more on the classic deist side, and that's where he set things in motion and just allowed the laws of physics to happen, and people made the choices, and the consequences of those choices came about because of that, and he just let it happen. That would be a classic deist definition, which you're almost trying to suggest, because in Christian theology, God knows all, so he had to know that these choices were going to be made, and he allowed them to be born anyway. So again, if there is this burning hell, then he allowed these people to be born to go there. We can't escape it, Chris. We just can't. Now, let me see if and you have that idea of hell being a burning hell. You're afraid, like you said, that the fate that await those who refuse Christ. You're afraid of that, which is hell. We have the video, the burning bugs, which is another thing. You said, well, they were harmless and innocent. And, well, we don't know that. I mean, we don't know. Do bugs sin? Do animals sin? Is there sin in the world? Is the world cursed with sin, as some Christians would say? So then I would say some of those bugs are still predators. They're still killing. So is there sin inherent in the nature? So maybe they're not completely innocent and harmless. And you make the like you said, like if it was a beehive, that you wouldn't be bothered. Because, of course, the beehive would be dangerous to your own being because they're going to sting you, but yet bees are beneficial to the whole cycle of nature. So, because they sting, you therefore equate it to being harmful because it has to do with your well-being, but they're still part of the whole cycle of nature, just like those other bugs have a significant role in the life cycle of the earth. What else did you say here? You said that if someone to think that the campfire was part of what God would do is ridiculous. But that's the doctrine. You're saying the campfire analogy, to think that God's going to do that to people is ridiculous, but that's your analogy you're using. Hellfire. for those who do not believe. So, the other thing, the last thing I'll try to touch upon. I know I'm kind of babbling. I got like scribbled notes here. I'm sorry. Going back, you made the analogy about the plants, and that if you knew at least one or two plants were going to be fruitful, you're still going to plant the whole crop, despite the others might get wasted. Chris, that's surprisingly, maybe I haven't thought about it, but it's kind of insensitive because now you're equating tomatoes with human souls, and you're making God out to be a gambler. He's throwing the dice and hoping that, he's only hoping for what, 2 out of 10, like you're saying, or whatever, or 1 out of 3. So again, what kind of odds are that? How could that be possibly a good track record of people who are going to go to heaven opposed to those going to hell with the foreknowledge? So I don't know, Chris. I'd like to know. I mean, does God have all the foreknowledge? And if He does, of course, it's going to answer the question. He does know, or He doesn't know, and He's waiting for the people to choose, and then He's actually throwing the dice. So you're kind of stuck in a conundrum, and that's the problem with this theology, the Christian theology. There is a conundrum that you need to face. I hate to say it. I hope I spoke clearly. I hope I got to everything in the video. Okay, Chris, take care. I love you, man. And I like discussing these things, and please do not by any way take it personal. The whole thing about caving into, I realized that probably was a little harsh. I guess I got it kind of piggybacked off one of the comments on the video, so I'm sorry if that came across harsh, but I really want it's going against the doctrines and stuff, doctrines that I got animosity because I believed a lot of these things for so long, and I don't want to ever have my videos bashing the person, but it's the beliefs, and that's what I'm trying to hone in on, the things that we believe and why we believe them, to ask that question, and because that's the questions that I had to honestly answer myself. So, okay, Chris, take care, be well, be blessed. I know I am when I remind myself.